Hello Manga Bookshelf readers, I'm Melinda Beasi, and this is My Week in Manga. First things first, Happy New Year! I hope you've all had a little bit of rest over the holidays and that you're ready to jump into an exciting new year. I know that I am. So let's get started with what I've been reading in manga. My big read for the week is the final omnibus of Chocolat. This is a manhwa series from Yen Press. The original series going up through volume 7 was released. I think that it stopped around 2008. It's been a very long time since a new volume of this was released. And so the final 3 volumes have been released all together in this great omnibus. I'm a big fan of the series. I've had to go and reread the entire thing from the beginning in order to catch up and remember what was going on. Michelle and I will be featuring this in Off the Shelf this week. We're really excited. I love talking about full series with her, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. I know that we will have a great time. So look forward to that this weekend. Also this week, I've read Volume 2 of Strobe Edge from Viz. Michelle and I talked about Volume 1 in Off the Shelf not long ago. You may recall from that, I don't remember how much of this I said at the time, that when I first was reading this, maybe half a chapter in, I turned to my husband and said, I am so bored. I really had a hard time getting into the first volume of Strobe Edge. It seemed like yet another romance where a totally clueless girl falls in love with the prince of the school, and I just couldn't get into it for the longest time. And then somehow by the end it completely grabbed me and it left me at a cliffhanger, and I was dying for the next volume. So as soon as I got this, I tore right into it. And again, I actually had kind of a hard time getting into the beginning of the volume. Not a ton happens in this volume. Some things do. As the end of the first volume, our heroine, Nanako, confessed her love to Ren, who has a girlfriend, totally unavailable. And she starts off the beginning of the volume really, really nervous about what's going to happen now. How is she supposed to behave around him? How will he behave around her? She did it at the train stop in front of a whole bunch of other students, so everybody knows that she did it. It's a huge deal. So a lot of this volume is about her figuring out how to deal with that, figuring out how to deal with the other kids in school when she's kind of humiliated herself, but at the same time she feels really good about having spoken her mind. A new character, Ando, also shows up, who's kind of a womanizer, but he's definitely into Nanako. And that, of course, creates some tension. Again, it took me a while to get into this volume, but by the end, and this was kind of a dirty trick, I thought, it gets pretty close to the end. You think you have a whole chapter left. Like there's this much left of the book, this much, and cliffhanger! Giant cliffhanger again! And there's a bonus story at the end of the volume, which possibly I would have been more excited to read if I wasn't just so upset that I couldn't read more of Strobe Edge. So once again, it really has me on the edge of my seat. I can't wait to find out what happens. I don't know how this series is doing it over and over again. I guess that's the magic of addictive shoujo, is that somehow it just grabs you and it doesn't let go. So once again, I can't wait for another volume of Strobe Edge. You may think from some of the things I've said that I don't wholeheartedly recommend it, and I guess I wouldn't say that it's one of my favorite series. I wouldn't say, run right out and get this, except a little bit I would, because it really has hooked me each time, and it'll probably do the same to you. I mean, this is the fun of shoujo series like this, modern shoujo, I think, that these addictive romances. I'm kind of into it. So probably you will be too. Go ahead and try it. Strobe Edge, Volume 2. I've got a few books on the docket for the rest of the week. First, I have this great advanced copy of Volume 4 of A Bride's Story. You may know that I named this one of my favorite continuing series of the year. I really love this series. It's so beautiful. But that's not all that it is. It's also really heartfelt. It's a really quiet, thoughtful look at a different time and a different culture, and it makes you care about the people in the story. It's not just a historical series either. It's got a lot going for it, and the artwork is to die for. If you haven't been reading A Bride's Story and you love beautiful, beautiful manga art, you're really missing out. So I'm excited to read this. Also this week, I have a couple of digital manga on my radar. I'm going to be reading a couple of volumes, one from SuBLime, who have been providing PDF downloads since they launched, and one from Digital Manga Publishing, which is, this is kind of new. They're providing various formats you can download at their new e-manga, the format of your choice. PDF was not typically my format of choice. In the past, I've highly preferred and been pretty vocal about preferring manga that you could download directly into an app that was made for the iPad, which is my device of choice. Because it looked better, it read better, it was more intuitive, everything about it worked better, the art was always higher quality. But I found recently that it's really all been about finding the right app to read with, and a manga bookshelf reader hipped me to an app called Bookman, which apparently is made specifically for reading manga, and it has changed that whole universe for me. Now I'm very happy to read PDFs. I like high-quality PDFs, the kind that you get from SuBLime, and we'll see what we're getting from DMP now as well. I will be reading Volume 1 of His Favorite from SuBLime. I managed to pick this up. They've been doing a 99-cent sale for the holidays, new thing every day, I think. So I hadn't read this, and so I picked it up for 99 cents. And I will also be reading Volume 1 of Planet Ladder, which is a new DMP series, or one that I haven't read anyway. And I have that as well. I have them both as PDFs, and we'll see how that goes. So thanks for joining me for another week in manga. I hope I'll see you back next week.